Vipi wadau na wadaudes, how y'all doing? Welcome to Mdundo podcast. Na leo hii I'm joined by a fellow podcaster. Jina yake kidogo imenisumbua. Is it Ayo the Sixth? Ayo.
It's Ayo the Sixth.
Ayo the Sixth.
Yes.
How wrong was I saying it before? It's Ayo.
Ayo is more Nigerian, you know. I'm not Nigerian.
And Ayo is?
Ayo is nice. No, is me. Ayo is, where I come from.
Which is where exactly? Kisumu Dala.
Yes.
Hey, Bunny, how to represent?
For us, there is Oyo and Ayo. People confuse Ayo to be a lady's name and Oyo to be a guy's name. So most people call me Oyo. I'm like, yo. My name is Ayo.
I was even about to comment on that. See, I thought Luo names that start with A are for the ladies and O, it's for the men.
Some are unisex.
Odhiambo, Adhiambo.
Some are unisex.
Like some are unisex?
Ayo. Yes.
Because I've never heard of Ayo, actually.
You've just heard it today, bro.
Yeah, I heard it today. Oyo. What does Oyo mean? Okay, let's begin with Oyo and then we go to Ayo.
Oyo is more of a male. It's a name given to a boy. Actually, Yo in Luo is Path. So when actually I was born, my mom gave birth to me on her way to the hospital. So sini wale tuko na kierere. Tulitoka mapema.
I see.
So Ayo born by the roadside on your way to the hospital, maybe.
I see. It is from where I come from, Luyaland. It is Nangila and Wangila. Right?
All right.
Nangila. So the path is Engila. So the lady is Nangila and the guy is Wangila.
Interesting.
So it is Ayo.
Okay.
Wow. I'll start getting used to that.
Yeah.
Ayo. So Ayo, you are you are a lot of things. You do podcasts,
yes.
Music activism. You are very specific, music activism.
Yes.
You are reviewing Rumba and all that. So just in a brief summary, tell us who you are and what you do.
I have a lot of Kofias.
Yes.
I'm above all, I'm a Kenyan. Kenyan by birth. Congolese by spirit.
Congolese by spirit. I thought you were going to say Congolese by residence. I was like, exchanging residence between Kenya and Congo.
No. So what happens is I'm a creative.
All right.
To begin with.
Yeah.
And I love film. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a TV producer and director. I'm a film critic. I write for Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is an American aggregate website that reviews films, Hollywood films, and whatever films that is.
Nice.
And I also love music.
Awesome.
I love music so much, and I fell in love with Congolese music when I was quite a young age, and when I got into the TV industry, I came up with a TV show that just played Rumba music, and it was all about Rumba music, Congolese music. I really am attracted to Congolese music because it speaks to me much. I've studied their history, studied their musical culture, their heritage, their food culture, their politics to some extent. And I just love who they are, despite the struggles they go through. So when I actually left my previous workplace, I was like, what am I doing for myself? Why don't the show that I used to produce and I have so much knowledge in, why don't I start my own podcast and just talk Congolese music and educate people about Congolese music? A lot of people love Congolese music, and probably people sing, you'll hear people singing Mayday, Mayday, or they sing Fabrice by Franco, and they don't know what it's just because they love the
Actually, it's usually the vibe.
Yes, it's the vibe. They love the vibe, and they believe, kama when in Congolese, uko na meleve, uko na pesa.
Meleve is money in Congolese. Awesome. Actually, come to think of it, it's very interesting that in Kenya, there are those people who can sing to you Rumba music.
Yes.
From start to end, and they don't really know what it means.
Yes.
I think one of the most popular songs is this song that that Nadia alifanya a refix. Is it a refix remix?
Yeah.
She did a remix of it. Let me look for it, because I swear I know the lyrics from start to end.
Yes.
So you'll correct me if I'm wrong. It's called Mario.
Mario by
Mario,
Franco. Yes.
Mario.
Lelo makambo
Obi makambo na lembie
Yes.
na bitswana
Mario, yes.
anenie
Yeah.
just ngoja nikimba vibao ni correct. Kambo na lembie soma mimako sana na baye lobi makambo na lembie lelo bitumba lobi koswana
Yes.
na baye Masanza na lembia. So the most interesting thing is, personally, by there I also have some interest in Rumba. The most interesting thing is when this song sings, you'd think it's a romantic song.
Yes.
You'd go to a lady and you'll lelo be makambo no be makambo.
And you sing sadness.
And you're just there emotionally, only to come and realize actually by the way.
Singing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about sort of a heartbreak song, or it's sort of a lady has had too much
for her life
and she wants to walk away.
Exactly.
And I feel like going back and apologizing to all the ladies I ever sang that song.
And you see, that's the thing that happens when you hop on TikTok and you realize a lot of people doing challenges for songs from various artists from Congo, and then they are smiling and it's a sad song. You're like, do you understand what you're singing? Do you understand the process like these artists went through to compose this song? Do you understand what inspired them to, write these lyrics? Then when you understand that, then you'll be like, I've been singing this song while smiling all along, enjoying the tune.
Yeah.
Kumbe this artist is busy crying for help. Probably they're going through mental health issues. And you're busy,
I think it is more of the vibe. So one thing about Rumba music, and by that later on you'll tell me the difference between Rumba and Lingala. I think you're the best person to tell me the difference. It is the vibe. Most of us grew up listening to Rumba and Zilizopendwa because at the time, that is what our grandfathers were listening to, the radio stations were listening to. So it is not just even one song like Mario. There are so many other songs.
Yeah.
The most famous one is this one. And I'm sure I'm not the only victim. I'm not the only victim of this Nini. Let me loop in so that people can also hear. So there's this song. People usually sing. And then there's a part where people say, Nairobi, Mombasa.
It's never Nairobi.
It's never Nairobi or Mombasa. But the way Nairobi and Mombasa hit in those lines, Nairobi.
It's never ever. Millie Bell never sings about Mombasa.
So it is because we all grew up listening to these, and as children by there tunakwanga na a very strong memory. Tukishika tumeshika. So whatever we caught tukigrow up, we just ran with it
to the very end. Correct.
Yes, we found a way to justify all the lyrics that we know. So it is the vibe that these people give. I'd say to some extent Rumba or Lingala, you'll tell me the difference, or Congolese music. It has so much poetry going on. It is almost like R&B.
Yes.
The description, the vividness, the emotions, you just find yourself flowing with it. So while at it, what is the difference between Lingala and Rumba?
Rumba, it's, okay, all these, Lingala is a language.
Lingala is a language.
Lingala is a language spoken in Congo.
All right.
All right? Rumba is the, I'd say, the mode of delivery, or I'd say it's the rhythmic way how, music is done. It's a tune, kind of. It's like, there's a difference between Kapuka and these are the one that just came the other day. It was Abanton, yes. So Rumba is more of the smooth Congolese music, and Lingala is the language of delivery.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So si kusemanga nasikiza Lingala, you're listening to the language.
Most people will find just a random guy. Nasikizanga marumba na malingala.
But then you see, there's now Rumba is the slow rhythm, and now we have whatever they call Lingala is called Seben. Seben
now it's the first one.
Exactly, the first one. Yeah, but Rumba is like, you know, Mayday, 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 na 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 na. You understand? But now, when you come to Seben, is the guitar, percussions, the drum beats, it's a fuse.
It's more of a dance kind of song.
And they're all dances, because you'll for
Rumba, it will be smoothness, slow vibes.
But now with Seben, is now also the pace. The pace. There's rapping there. There is there's something we called we actually call the name of the name of art, the art of name calling in music. Yeah, in music, whereby you'll hear mtu anaita jina mtu ndani ya song.
But it started with Rumba,
yes.
Then Luo, you guys kind of Ohangla. You'd just hear Presinda in the middle of Doctor Odhiambo, Nasalimia.
Now that art in Congolese music is called Mabanga.
Yes. Wait, Mabanga?
Yes, it's called Mabanga.
I thought,
so, Mabanga.
The director is telling me, see Mabanga ya Luyas, if you know where Mabanga is. Let's be clear, we're not talking about that Mabanga. Yeah. This is another Mabanga. But Mabanga is a very familiar name, actually. Right. It's very, like for people who've been listening to Rumba, it's a very familiar name. I just know there's a name called Mabanga. Yes. And if you would have asked me on any other day to guess what Mabanga, I'd have said probably it's the name of an artist or a song in Rumba. So Mabanga is the art of name calling.
Art of name calling
in the Congolese music.
The Congolese music. That is recorded music. Where we go to studio, they record a song. Now, there is another different type of Mabanga. You see, Congolese artists always have live concerts.
Yeah.
They have live concerts and dignitaries, attend and people with money attend. And for example, I have money and Fally Ipupa is performing and she throws my name inside the whatever. Now that is called Kobwaka Mabanga.
Kobwaka Mabanga.
Yes.
Wow, at the end of this, I'll be able to speak Lingala.
Yes. Now Kobwaka Mabanga is now in the name, that of name calling
live during live
performance. And bro, that doesn't just come in like that. Money has to be poured.
It is not what we are seeing happening in Ohangla.
Money. No,
it is not that.
Even the Ohangla.
No, because actually by them, before you proceed, as you continue, I'm starting to draw some similarities between Ohangla and Congolese music. Yeah, Rumba music. Yeah. When you explain the art of Mabanga, it's actually, I think, even more depicted in Ohangla music. Most Ohangla music.
And even not only Ohangla music, but even Sukus, even in Sukus, and now Sukus is also a branch of music in Congolese, and it actually originated from Luoland to Congo.
From Luoland to Congo.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I think we are in for a history lesson. Okay.
Yeah, and that element, it tends to bring in more vibe. It tends to bring in a unique factor about music. And I believe if many other artists would just consider that art of Mabanga, and people who are being called they pay these artists.
They are like the OGs. The cream of the la cream.
Yes.
In town. So, when you talk about Ohangla music, right? When you talk about Ohangla music, and when you talk about Rumba music, as an analyst of this genre of music. Primarily, you are looking at Congolese music, but definitely you're also listening to Ohangla music because it's where you come from. What would you say is the relationship between, because there's always that blind. I mean, ask anyone any day, they can tell you, but hey, you can get some rumba vibe in Ohangla, and in fact, it has even informed this new urban genre of music called the one that Kinokelo Max are doing. It is sort of the modern rumba, the slow rumba. It's
The
Luo.
lyrics of Rumba.
But majorly it's sung in Luo. So you can even see that similarity. So as an analyst, what would you say is the core relationship between Ohangla and rumba music?
From where I sit, I think it's more of they're still trying to master the art of Mabanga. And when it comes to the beats and style of the beats, they're still far apart. Because the traditional Congolese music, because now there is modern, and there's traditional. When I say traditional, the likes of Pepe Kale and Franco Luambo Macchiati back then, it was more natural. Though it was more of live instruments on studio recording. Leave alone the Fruity Loops of today, whereby you'll go on a computer and compose music using it. No, it's more of live music.
So even if it's recorded in the studio, if it is the guitar, it is the guitar. If it is the piano,
when they go on a live concert, what you listen to in your earphones is what you get on the live concert.
Exactly.
And now that is what is really betraying our music of today, because guys are more of shortcuts. But I wish we could go back to what Congolese still practice. Because I'll give you for a fact, there's an album, the latest album by Ferre Gola. He actually, all the songs, it's Dynasty 1 and 2. All the songs were composed live in studio. And that made it so unique. So I wish our artists, either Kenyan Rumba artist or Ohangla, they went all natural. That could be so beautiful. And that's why, come back to Kenya, I respect artists like Nyashinsky, who would go on stage and perform with a live band. The art of performing with a live band, I mean, I came for your live concert for a reason.
Yeah, true. If I wanted to listen to a recorded music, one, I could have just downloaded.
Kwa hiyo soundbar, ongeza volume ka yote, sikiza majirani, sikiza muziki. But now, give me that experience. I sit down and watch Congolese artists performing. I'm like, oh my God. I get some orgasms just feeling like,
goosebumps will come.
It
is like there was a time, I think it was last year by Tuan, was it Fally Ipupa who filled up a whole stadium in Congo? Like literally, it is one of those things you'd only see happening in
that was
US.
Ferre Gola. Stade de Matthias.
Nice.
Stade de Matthias.
Yeah, so he filled up the whole stadium.
Yes.
A lot of people came. There was even a stampede. I mean, these are the scenes that you would see normally happening
and
abroad.
Even Victoria Kimani from Kenya performed.
Now, I think if people mastered that, then we'd start seeing the beauty of such live performances and the beauty of music enthusiasm, such as what happened there, happening across all over. Do you think there's future for Kenyan Rumba, or is this just a wave for the urban, modern future Rumba?
I'm sorry to say this, but I feel it's just a wave.
All right. Why would you say that?
Because the artists are trying to remain relevant. Asa nifanyie kitu for relevancy. Si ule mtu ataka, hii kitu ataka ina fail, I'm sticking to it.
They take it.
And I understand that someone would argue that the way someone like Fally Ipupa used to sing is not the same way they sing today. But there's that element of authenticity in their music, despite the change of style. When Fally Ipupa does a collabo, you'll still feel that authenticity in how the composition was done. And I'll challenge people who are trying to throw stones at me. I want them to go and listen to Fally Ipupa's collabo with BN. and go and listen to Fally Ipupa's collabo with, for example, Diamond, and go and listen to even Ferre Gola's music and all that, and just come and listen to that authenticity, compare it to the Kenyan Rumba music being done in Kenya. I appreciate Akinokelo Max. They're doing good music. I love it. I appreciate Sauti Sol so much. I wish they could go more of let's get a sound and stick to it.
And stick to it to the
end. And build that sound to the end. Instead of trying, like I'll say someone like Diamond is more of his trial and error. Ako South Africa leo ako na Nigerian
and R&B bongo what.
Yes. But I'll even challenge you. You see, like these collabos that, for example, these Congolese artists do, it a hit for a moment, then ipotee. But ukisikia zile wamefanya peke yao, they give it time. They're timeless. They give it time because they know music takes time. This year, Fally Ipupa is set to release an album. I haven't listened. I've only seen glimpse to exclusives to zile umepata glimpse through my Congolese friends and all that. Hata ziko TikTok. But ukicheki authenticity kwa hiyo album, like, God damn it.
There's some personal element. You can literally feel the artist.
It's like ukienda usikie Dynasty 1 and 2, uende usikie Formula 7 ya Fally Ipupa, alafu Dynasty ya Ferre Gola, alafu Ritia Watanabe pia alitoa album. Ukisikia hizo albums, uko like, so wali take time. They took their time kucompose hizi mangoma. Because tell me how, utasikia album na 90% of the songs zinakubeba.
True, very true.
Wali take time.
It was very natural.
Yes.
I mean, also the element of poetry and good composition always takes time. It has motivation. The best heartbreak songs, they say, actually stem from real heartbreaks.
Yes.
Nice one. Thank you so much about that. So let's move on. Let's talk about you and your podcast. Right now, where you are as a podcaster, how would you describe your journey? How is it going? Are you where you wanted to be? Are you doing what you wanted to do? Or are you in the still? Just tell us about the journey so far.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, my podcast is called Kwenye Counter.
Kwenye Counter.
Why Kwenye Counter?
Definitely.
Because what happens at the counter? Vibes and inshallah. Like ukiingia kwa club, meka pale kwenye counter unasaviwa na bartender. Na uko na beshte yako mnapiga story kwe politics kwe nini. Na kwanga vibes and inshallah inaonga tu. Yes, we had a stressful day, but tuko kwenye counter.
It's
angusha meleve, leta le drink, tukunye mavitu, tutoe pressure, right? Zishuke tutoe pressure. So kwenye counter is all about vibes and inshallah, and talking about music and what you love about music, right? Strangers will come together and united by music. Na watu wanze kuongeleshana. Si ati nilikuuliza jina lako ni nani. Wataanza tu by the ngoma inakuanga imeweza. By the unajua hizo.
And then everybody is there giving their own
experience yake. And that was my idea when I started that show Kwenye Counter. I just want to talk about music and just Congolese music and the history of Congolese music, the inspiration behind Congolese music, understanding these artists, where they start from, where are they now, who inspired them, wanaelekea wapi, scandals gani wako nazo, unaget nani yako scandalous, nani aje amekuwa kwa industry for this long, because it's again about Congolese music scene. It's full of betrayal, someone buying. Unachiki venye Chelsea, Man U in the EPL, English Premier League, venye ma players ubaiwa. Hivyo ndio pia Congolese musical scene, artist ubaiwa. Unapata Fally ameona ule vocalist ni mnoma anampoch.
I think I've had a story. I can't really, forgive me for this. I'll sound like mtu mwenye anaanza masomo hapa. Forgive me for this. I think I've ever had a story. I don't know if it was from my grandfather or wapi. They were talking about, there was a time there were two, I don't know if Koffi Olomide is involved or if Papa Wemba.
Major culprit.
There were two artists who were so dope at that time. And then mostly when people would see, they just see these artists. But as you said, the power of Congolese music is in their live performance. And then these people would go in the battles of poaching who's the best instrumentalist.
Yes.
So this person would buy this one, the next day they'd be bought back. And there was just a lot of back and forth. But now,
rival.
Yeah. To most people, this is the side of Congolese music they never know. But this is the side of music that actually informs the whole identity of Congolese music and Rumba music. And actually, I think when people get to know these stories, somebody will be like, oh, so no, Koffi Olomide to his song, this and this happened.
Yes.
It makes even Rumba music
much more interesting.
Yeah, and even more beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I sat down and told myself, what's missing? I know people love all these things, but do they understand? Nikasema, si nianze show kwenye counter. Na ujue ilipata kama nimetoka job, like I just lost my job. Kasema, what am I doing with my life? Plus taki ku-apply job, nataka to detox, because I'm in the media industry. Nataka to detox. Nika away from the media industry, nifanye tu stuff zangu. Nikasema, let me start a podcast. I started kwenye counter. Okay, when I was starting it, I didn't have the name. Okay, I had the name kwenye counter, but siko nimeita hivyo before. So, the first episode that blew me up on TikTok, it was an episode I recorded in my bedroom with my phone, explaining Rumba music. Yeah, and I guess that's the episode that has most downloads on Mdundo right now.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. So I was actually explaining a song called Coco Coco by Fally Ipupa and Koffi Olomide. Yeah, and even on that song, I even explained how Fally Ipupa left Koffi Olomide's band, Quartier Latin International, where that was the baddest band back then in Congo. Yeah, before Fally Ipupa, now when Fally Ipupa was going solo. So that is how I started. Then a friend of mine saw my stuff on TikTok. Asema, "Wait, I have a studio lying here. Sikujo record a few, and we've partnered with a friend. Yeah, siukamu to record nini ufanye nini yako." So when I get, nikasema fine, cool, nitakuja kunini, nitakuja kuona nini studio venye nakaa. Now to my surprise, naingia studio, na wametengeneza counter ingine fiti. Niko like nimebuki space
without even thinking.
Love at first sight. It was a very beautiful counter. Nyuma kuna shelves, my drinks nini, and that was exactly what I had in mind. Karibu kwenye counter.
Na hivyo ndo ikakam.
And hivyo ndo ikakam. Hivyo ndo ikakam, nikarecord episodes kadhaa. Then now this is now the sad story. For everything's an end. Now my friend had partnered with his friend. So beshtake alikuwa anaona ni kama uchali kuja kurecord stuff hapa. Na lipi do. 90 P's. I think pia uchali pia alikuwa nitetea because shout out to Otiato, he's a good friend of mine. Wakakosana, then he went to Kisumu kufungua studio yake. Uchali pia akaanza kuniambia nianze kulipa studio fee. Mimi siko na do, na bado si make do. I mean, I'm just doing this out of passion. Nobody's paying me. That's how I stopped recording. So I've been strategizing on how to come back, to rebrand my show and all that. Friend of mine, I met another friend, akona studio, but now for him it was more of money oriented, and bado nilikuwa natafuta pia, sponsors and all that. There's an episode when you're telling me your time Fally Ipupa alikuwa amekam, alikuwa amekuja Walker Town event. I call my friend Trev. Kambia Trev mazee. Tunaweza fanya nini na EBL? So you have contacts, so you call them. What you do, I'll give them a call. Niandike proposal unitumie. Nikadraft proposal haraka nikatuma. Sema, EBL, we like the concept. Why don't we do an episode for this nini? Now, we were supposed to interview Fally Ipupa. Those were some of the things that I requested. Nataka ku interview Fally Ipupa. akaendos kwenye counter tufanye stuff Ibielo akapenda but Fally Ipupa alikuwa na tight schedule my guy.
Definitely.
Ana perform Eugene ndio kuja Kenya. Tight schedule. Time tulikuwa tume anticipate atakam alikuja kuchelewa. So akakuja tu kama ameenda kudoze nini akaenda akaperform. So Ibielo wakaona hiyo idea kafurahia. Sasa mtu mwenye alifurahia hii whatever hii idea akapesa out akatoa unaget but ilipata kama hii episode tulirecord walipenda wakailipia unaget wakailipia so one of the beautiful things was as much as they paid I still wanted to push this idea that you guys have a potential to advertise on this show. Wasana penda products zenyu zinaingiana na whatever you guys can brand the show nini. We'll talk about it. Unajua tu watu commercial.
Corporates
can wash my guy. So then
tutakuwa na discussion for a whole year before you get a deal.
Before pate rubber stamp. So that is what happened. Life moved on. But then again, I'm trying to come back on my feet. Ni record more because I feel the pressure, and then we'll come to that though. Mdundo came in, shout out to Nafula. Mdundo came in, then guys liked my content on Mdundo. Before I knew it, I was being called for an award. Who knew? Like, this is something that I was just doing.
Ulianza na episode moja kwa bedroom yako. So as tukiendelea, just briefly unishow how did you migrate now? You've mentioned Mdundo. How did you now migrate to mdundo.com?
So I do audiovisual. Mine is more videos and all that. So when I was approached, I was like, so would you want me to record these episodes? Because apana, we just need them the way they are. So they actually converted them to audio. Which haikuwa imekuja kwa mind yangu.
Only the new record audio peke yake.
Video podcast and all that. I never thought that I could earn from audio podcasts, right? Yes, I love audio podcasts. I listen to a lot of audio podcasts sometimes, right? But I never thought that someone can sit down and listen to me on audio.
Because this is a new concept. And actually msee hawezi fikiria from that.
It's scary. The one thing about new ideas, they are always scary to attack. Uko like, hey, what if nikijaribu ifail? What if? Uko na zile what if kama milioni moja. So, nikasema, sawa. Nikakubali tu ni on board create.
I have nothing definitely
to weka nini we will share.
So you got onboarded.
I got onboarded from Mdundo.com. My audios. Then I get a phone call that, hey, by the way, your content is doing so nicely on Mdundo. You need to record more. Niko like, masaibu na
my recordings zinaumana mbele na nyuma.
But you see, the other thing about success is success ikupatanga abruptly inakushtuanga. Ile design ya now what next? Ukona ile pressure ya
can I outdo myself?
Exactly. I need to give more. And that is more in terms of content, in terms of quality, in terms of quantity. And you're like, nitaweza. But ni sawa, acha tuone venye kutakuwa. So that is what now my plan is this year. And I want to just give more on kwenye counter, recreate the idea and make it more suitable to, because I've also been trying to learn how the digital consumers behave. What do they want? What do they need on social media? What do they really, really want? And unakuja unapata pia behavioral changes that consumers, they keep on changing. And pia you need to change with time.
You need to change
how
with
you
time.
record, your delivery, who you bring on set, what you talk about, when you talk about it, when you post it, why you post it. So there is the how. So it's a lot of process, and I'm glad Mdundo came in, because pia imenipatia hiyo idea I can also do this as audio. As much as I'm going to do video, I need to also record quality
in
audio so that one is a consumer.
So you said ndo mwaka imeanza at Mdundo usually have umesema content ilikuwa na perform fiti but definitely we know that money influences everything. Money is the root of everything. We're doing this for business. We usually have biannually payouts.
Yes.
Hii Januari tuambie, did you get some good things from Mdundo?
My guy, unajua nilikuwa naangalia hiyo account yangu nasema niko broke na hii pesa bwana. Pesa bwana. To be honest, I didn't expect to get that much money just from audio downloads. Mimi na kwanza nilikuwa najua tu audio streams. Mimi na kwanza nilikuwa na check at sijui how many people downloaded, niko like what about download audio? So nadhani kuna live streaming what
people would
I can't remember the last time I downloaded audio, but when I was getting into my account, nilikuwa naona the amount of streams and the amount of downloads, and that was insane to me. Like I didn't believe that
it was beyond your expectations.
Beyond my expectations. So I was like, damn. Ido, I think I need to use it to, when I get it, I need to use it to put it more back to this content. To reinvest into the content. When I get, as much as I'm broke, wacha tufinye inja kukidoko to reinvest.
Because then I see don't expect it to grow. Ati wacha ni post hapa niko sure itarudisha hii amount of money. Ini don't kaili ku catch by surprise.
Yes. So nikasema like I'll use it to invest back to this idea. And that is what I'm doing right now. I'm rebranding. I'm writing more content. And I've written like 30 episodes so far. Since I stopped recording. I've written like, actually there are 35 episodes.
There's a production
to bado sija record. So muka china sema I need to sit down in a very proper studio, good audio, good video, ni record stuff. Nianze ku drop episodes back to back. Watu wane consistency. Ni popularize hii audio podcast na video podcast so that as much as I'm building on Mdundo, I'm also building on other platforms.
I see. So I mean the bigger picture is always how can I turn this into a profitable business. That is usually the bigger picture. We've talked about EBL, sponsorship and everything, and you've talked about earning from your audio episodes on Mdundo.com. When you try to create a ratio of the number of episodes you uploaded on Mdundo.com and how much you earned from those episodes, when you try to create that ratio and when you try to see if there's a way to scale it up, do you think this is something that can be scaled up to a point where you are now officially earning, like it's sort of a business, you're now earning good money? And when I say good money, this is sustainable money, this is money that you can pay your bills. Do you think when you create the ratio of the episodes you uploaded on Mdundo.com versus how much you earned, do you think this can be upscaled to that level of earning very good money?
Yes, positive. It can be upscaled, and I feel it's a good platform to push your content and whatever they give you. Unajua kuna platforms zingine wanasemanga mazee nimeka content yangu hapa lakini sasa wanipatia road deal hizi views zote nasipati pesa so I feel with the amount of content nimeweka and what Mdundo has remitted, I'd say pretty much so far so good, and it's fair enough. And to other content creators out there who do audio, there's our show we'll get onboarded, and they've just find a way of getting onboarded because at the end of the day they stand to win. They stand to even win more and even learn more. And even kujireinvent because zingine si ujuweka tu akiliate towards a certain direction, but when you learn new concepts, you call like, oh, so this can also happen.
It can work.
I feel it's a good idea. It's something that people should invest their time and their resources in, because at the end of the day, inakupatia. It's a good investment.
The money in Narudi, it's good. I'm trying to log in. You've talked about content creators. So on the side, I'm also a content creator. Apart from being here on Mdundo.com, side hustle muhimu. Yeah. My boss, if you're watching, shout out. I'm not complaining. But so I'm also a content creator. I do trending news. So you mentioned content creators and something just occurred to me. So personally also from my side content that I usually do, it reached a point where somebody told me, you can be uploading on Mdundo. Yes, I was in Mdundo, but some of these things, they just kind of pass you. So I uploaded, I think it was 8 episodes of my content. So I'd report what is happening, turn it into MP3, post it on mdundo.com. So wasaki brag about money. Yeah, it's January, but let me also brag. So I just uploaded 8 episodes and then I got lazy. Please, usikwe look at me advising like Nishafik. Usikwe lazy the way I was. So I want you to check this one out. Sitaonyesha wewe ndo mnaweza ni attack. So like so for instance for me, I got total downloads was around 16k. Earnings in person as a tosha. As a tosha rent kidogo. So actually when you talk about content creators, you're not just talking about podcasters alone, actually, because whatever content you do that someone can actually listen to and make sense out of it. All right. If I report, so when I report, someone can actually go and Google, and when they Google, for instance, where I'm very sure when people Google Congolese music and analysis, most likely they'll get your audio. So I think for all content creators, despite what you're doing, the question is, can you turn your content into MP3?
Yes.
And if you can, just upload it. You never know.
Unacheki hizi podcast watu sukuma YouTube. Na hizi snippets watu sukuma TikTok. I wish they could just convert those video podcasts
into MP3
to MP3. Now weke kwa nini? Weke kwa streaming platforms, audio streaming platforms.
And by the you don't lose anything.
You have nothing to lose.
It's something you've already produced.
Alafu nile design ya, I mean, I think ni laziness tu inatushika. Uko like, bro, take time ukarecord video. So convert to your stuff.
I mean, it's a simple stuff. Kuna ma softwares mingi.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that one was nice. So my last question is this: you did win an award. Manzi, awards are the best feelings.
Yo, award yenyu kwanza ilinishtua.
Take time. It's your moment. It's your moment.
Yo, award yenyu ilifanya nishone suti. Mimi sivangi suti. Yo, award yenyu ilinishtua. I didn't see it coming.
How was that feeling? Like initially just getting, you are there. How was that feeling?
Kwanza, to make it even sweeten the whole thing, ati the best emerging. I mean, nigga, please. Emerging, like, kwani watu wanapenda content yangu hivi? Kwani nimekuwa nikijidoubt? So for me, it was a good feeling. Like, earning that award in front of popular artists that I know. Na naishimu. And now sitting down with them and napiga now story na they're congratulating me. For a moment nilifeel kama Tom Cruise.
Ilibaki kweke tu sound music, kweke tu soundtrack, and then utoke hapo uanze kutembea slow motion in reality.
Unajua in my film business, siku moja nitaingia Hollywood. Na siku moja nitawin ka Emmy Award. So even though kama hii award ndogo inanisaidia.
If it feels like this, now imagine shafika huko.
So I feel naweza taka ku stand out in that Congolese field now that nobody is doing it. And if you guys are reviewers out there, if you love Congolese music, go ahead and do it. Mimi nataka competition. But oh well.
It's so lonely at the top.
It's so lonely at the top. Nataka msana ni inspire, like, dude, do more. Like, imagine sija post content for the last 3 months.
So let's do this. I love the way, just briefly, we talked about Congolese music. We talked about Rumba. And to be very honest, we might be Abanton fans, Gengeton fans. One thing that is for sure, we all grew up listening to Zilizopendwa and Rumba. Citizen TV asubuhi pale, uko njiani tunakuja, tunawaletea. We all, so when you talk about Rumba music or zilizopendwa music, we all have something to say. So I want us to do this. I want us to have a date. We plan, you come back, we record an episode where we're just talking about Rumba music from hakuna sijui maneno ya what nini. Now in action we review Rumba music. We talk about all those.
Unataka nikuje lini?
Let's market here.
Unataka nikuje lini?
Kusema
when is the date?
Kusema na kutenda. Let us see. Salale.
Learn 30th.
Madam Director. Unaona hata mwenyewe ananiambia. Umejaza kalenda yangu sana.
March mbali. February yote.
It is a date. I think we can create an not an episode, we can create a segment where we always talk about Congolese music and Rumba music. I mean, I wonder why no one has ever done it up to now.
I'm doing it, my guy.
I mean, you are a pioneer. I mean, I wonder why.
There is a dude. There is a dude anaitwa Maanga. The Maanga. Niliona anajaribu kufanya hiyo stuff. Ako na idea fiti. Anaifanya vipoa. Production iko fiti. But nataka in-depth. Nataka depth.
So I think we can create a segment. I'll take your number. We can plan. It doesn't have to wait until March. Whenever we can get an episode, 1 hour, 2 hours, we can come here, talk about. But your story says it's occurring to me. The story I was telling you that I didn't know who was who. I think it was Koffi Olomide and Fally Ipupa. If you said Fally Ipupa was in Koffi Olomide's band, I think that was the story that I had. Somehow, some way, that story was so interesting to me.
Unachiki Fally. Go on Mdundo.com and listen to my episode of Coco. Fally ni mshenzi sana, by the way. Mumuita bro wangu because nampenda. Mad love. Fally alikuwa lead vocalist kwa Quartier Latin International. Kuna Quartier Latin na kuna Quartier Latin International. Quartier Latin International iko na kina Fally Ipupa, Suzuki, Madogo, Fofole Cologene, au watu wote wakubwa na instrumentalists wanoma sana. Lola Mwana and all that. Binda Bass ni wanoma. I go Google them. Binda Bass is a madass vocalist. Fally aliamua akaenda ka compose song. Akaenda ka compose song na very deep Lingala words. Like nika shengine muenda. Unacheki. Aka compose song yote, akasema Koffi kuja tu record ngoma. Koffi ako anajua nini inamaanisha nini. Ngoma inamaanisha nini. Do you know who came to nini after washa release hiyo ngoma kwa album. Wame release album mwenda. Do you know ndio Koffi anakuja kuambia unajua hii song inamaanisha hivi na hivi.
So what was the song meaning?
Actually, Koko is an art of knocking, right? And kwa hii ngoma Fally anajaribu kusema venye walikuwa wanafeel kama wako jail. Hata ukiochio video, they actually in cell format. Alikuwa anasema venye Koffi amewafinyilia. Una get? Like atuwezi, like Koffi anatu
That was a good plot.
Una get? Koffi amewafinyilia. Maze this is like a cry of hell.
Na Koffi alikuwa featured in it without
Koffi hata kwanza ukisikia hapo mpao mokonzi. Akasema hapo mpao mokonzi. Nice. Anachapa adlib kwa hiyo song vibaya sana. Only to kuambiwa by the mse amekuosha. Ujo that's the last song Fally anafanya na Koffi akienda soul.
Definitely that hiyo ilikuwa inamkata park, hiyo ilimuruta, hiyo ilimu obviously.
After hiyo Fally Ipupa has never looked back again.
But that was a good strategy.
Fally Ipupa na hawajaifanya collab tena. That's the worst thing.
And that was the beginning of the
hapo ndio Fally alijua, you know what, I don't need you nigga. I have myself.
Na hivyo ndio ilienda. Wow.
Yes.
Such stories are very beautiful.
Such a beautiful.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much, man.
Asante,
I
bro.
appreciate your time.
Uh-huh.
Definitely next time you'll come, we'll talk about Rumba music. Madam Director, uko na salamu za mwisho, any parting shots? Uko sawa? Uko fresh barida? Uko tupeko, nipe word yote ya Kikongolese. Give me any
Uko bien bien.
Uko bien bien. Uko mapambangale mapao. Thank you so much, man. That was good.
Yeah.
This episode was supposed to be 20 minutes. How it has come to 50 minutes, I don't know. I think it's come to 50 minutes. Of course, till next time, this is Mdundo Podcast, and I am Sikolo.